Welcome back, everyone. Today we are talking about the metric system. Today your topic is metric, your goal. I can convert between metric measurements. So there are basic types of measurements we see and use in sciences and specifically in chemistry. First is length, which measures distance between objects. You will need to write down length and highlight or underline it, and then type out the definition, which is measures distance between objects. We have volume, which you'll also need to write down and highlight, and the definition for that is it measures the amount of space something takes up. And then we have mass, which you again need to highlight or underline and write the definition out, which is measures the amount of matter in an object. Other types of measurements include, we don't really talk about as much, but you may see at some point, is time, temperature, density, pH, and of course there's other things that aren't on this list that are different types of measurements. But these are the majority of the ones we'll see the most, especially in this unit and later on in chemistry. Okay, measurement system comparisons. So the United States likes to be different. And we are one of the few countries that still uses the English measurement system. For length, you may see things like yards or inches. For mass, you may see ounce or pounds. For volume, you can see a quart. Temperature is Fahrenheit. Time in seconds. Okay, well, in the metric system, or the SI system, which is what the majority of the world uses, for length, you'll see meters and centimeters. Mass, you'll see grams or kilograms. Volume, you'll see liters. Temperature, you'll see Celsius or Kelvin, and time is still seconds. You'll notice some of these are actually going to be familiar to you that you have seen before. All measurement systems have standards, and standards are exact quantities that everyone agrees to use as a basis of comparison. So in the English system, you have to remember so many different numbers. For example, there's 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, 5,280 feet in a mile, 16 ounces in a pound, 4 quarts to a gallon. So, do any of these numbers have anything in common? Is there any pattern? No. You can't even say they're all even because there's 3 feet in a yard, which is an odd number. But in the SI system or the metric system, you only have to remember one number. That is 10. That is all you have to know. You don't even have to do any crazy math to change feet to a mile in the metric system. You just have to know about the number 10. So the SI system or the metric system uses the following prefixes: kilo, hecto, deca, unit, also known as base, deci, centi, and milli. And you notice the only thing that changes with these prefixes is the number of zeros there are. And this works with any metric measurement, whether you're doing length, mass, volume, any of those, it follows the same exact pattern. The unit becomes whichever type of measurement you're talking about, like mass, volume, and length. It is the same system regardless if you are measuring length, mass, or volume. You'll notice I just said that like 5 times. That is because I want you guys to know it is the same. You use the same prefixes for all of them. In other words, it makes our life a million times easier. All right, so here's this chart and a little fun saying to help remember the prefixes. So, of course, you have K, which is kilo, H, hecta, D, deca, B, base, D, deci, C, centi, M, milli. A phrase to remember this is King Henry died before drinking chocolate milk. I know that is a very tragic story. But King Henry died before drinking chocolate milk. Now, you'll see three main base words, and that's grams, liters, and meters. So grams is for your mass, liters is for your volume, and meters is for your length. And you'll notice, so here for K or kilo, you put a K in front, and then since it's grams, you put a G. You put a K in front and you put L for liters, a K in front, and then an M for meters. And you just will fill that in for the rest of the chart. So for example, you'll put a H and then a G. H, L, H, M. So some things you need to remember. All measurements need a number and a unit. Units are so important because you could be talking about 1,000 meters of something, or you could be talking about how much time it takes. So there's no way to know what in the world you're talking about if you do not include a unit. Basic units of measurements, like we've said, is meter, liter, and gram. And we are going to talk about how to convert metric units. Okay, so how to convert. You'll need to type out what's underlined. Step 1, find where your given is. Step 2, count how many places you have to move to get what you want. Step 3, move the decimal the same direction as you move your finger. Move the decimal the same amount of times you move your finger. All right, so on a dry erase board, you're going to see me walk through these examples, and I will show you how to work these out and get the correct answer. Okay, so we're going to do some example problems for the metric system. So the saying that helps me remember the prefixes is King Henry dies before drinking chocolate milk. All right, if I am given a number, let's say it is 5 kilograms. And I want to know how many milligrams this is. So the first thing you need to do is look at what's given. So this first letter tells you where you need to start. So we're starting at K. And what you're looking for, the first letter tells you where you need to go, which is M. So we need to see how many times we need to move to get from K to M. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And you notice we moved this way. So with 5, it doesn't have a decimal anywhere, so you know the decimal is going to be in the very back right here. Well, we need to move that decimal the same number of times we moved up here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, that's 6. So the decimal is now way back here. Now all these spaces that we made, we need to fill in with zeros. So our number, we'll need way more space than that, would be 5 with 6 zeros, also known as 5 million milligrams. All right, so if we do another example, let's do 2.5 liters equals how many? So hectoliters. So you notice here, this doesn't have a letter in the front. It's just an L. So that means it's at its base. And we are moving to hectoliters, which is the H right there. So we need to move it 1, 2 times, and it's this direction. So here we have 2.5. You put your pencil or your marker on the decimal. You need to move it 1, 2 times, the same direction we did up top, and a 0 goes in that blank. So our number will be 0.025. So 2.5 liters is 0.025 hectoliters. All right, let's do one more example. Let's try 10.2 centimeters equals how many meters? So centimeters is what's given. The letter in front is a C, so that's where we're going. The second one, they just give us an M. If there is not a letter in the front, it goes to base. So that means we need to move it 2 times this direction. So 10.2, we find the decimal, it'll go 2 times this direction. So it'll just be 0.102 meters. If you guys need help with the following slide, which has some practice problems just like this, shoot me a message on Canvas or send me an email and I can show you more examples if you need it.